The second verse of the Torah tells us about the state of the world before creation was completed. Va'aretz hayata tohu va'vohu v'choshech al pnei tehom. There are 4 adjectives to describe what the world looked like at that time. Tohu va'vohu, it was totally void, it was totally empty. V'choshech al pnei tehom, and there was darkness over the depths. And the sages tell us that these 4 adjectives are in fact a prophetic prophecy for the 4 nations that will persecute the Jewish people. Tohu va'vohu v'choshech al pnei tehom. There'll be the Babylonians, there'll be the Persians, there'll be the Greeks, and there'll be the Romans. And each one of these words describes one of these kingdoms. When it comes to the Greeks, the word that describes them is the word choshech, darkness. The darkness was over the depths. And the Midrash explains as follows, that the Greeks tried to impose a darkness upon the Jewish people. They tried to take away the light of the Torah. And in particular, they said to the Jewish people the following things. Write for yourselves on the horn of an ox, of a cow, that you have no more share in the God of Israel. This is what the Greeks told the Jewish people. And the commentators over the years have been puzzled by this. What does it mean? What did the Greeks mean to say to the Jewish people that they should write this on the horn of an ox, of a cow? Why particularly the horn of a cow or an ox? Why not on a piece of paper? What were they trying to tell us? There are some who say that the simple explanation is that they were reminding the Jewish people of the sin of the golden calf. You, the Jewish people, you betrayed God right at the beginning of your history. And you made a golden calf, and you served that golden calf. And therefore, you should remember that you have no portion anymore in the God of Israel. He doesn't want you anymore. But there is another explanation. And this is a very beautiful explanation. And it comes from a rabbi who happened to be visiting one day a museum. And there in the museum was a display of different things that had been used for children throughout the years. Children's toys, etc. And he saw over there the horn of an ox, of a cow, and it said that this was used as a bottle to feed children. That mothers would take milk or they would take some other liquid, they would make a hole in that horn, and then they would give it to the child, and the child would suck it in the same way that today perhaps a child sucks a bottle. And then he realized what the Greeks were saying to the Jewish people. Because that horn represents the item from which the baby takes in mother's milk. And they were saying to them that right from the beginning of their life, right from the time that they are babies, they should see written on this horn that they no longer have anything to do with the God of Israel. They should move away from that and they should become Greek in the way in which they behave. They should take it in, if you like, with mother's milk. They were trying to break the Jewish people right from the beginning of their lives, from the time that they are children. And I think that there is something which is the corresponding opposite of this. And this is mentioned in Pierre Cavett, where we read about the students of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. He had 5 outstanding students, and he praised each and every one of them for their different qualities. This one was like a cistern that never lost a single drop. He had such an incredible memory, and this one had such an incredible ability to understand things. And in reference to one of his students, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, he says, Ashrei Yoladato. Praiseworthy is the woman who gave birth to Rabbi Yeshua. Well, how does that describe Rabbi Yeshua? That doesn't describe his quality. That describes his mother. What was so special about his mother? And the sages tell us as follows. That when Rabbi Yeshua's mother was pregnant, she would go to all of the yeshivas. She would go in and she would speak to the students and say to them, I'm pregnant. And I want you to daven, I want you to pray that this child should be a righteous child. And this child should study Torah. And not only that, she wanted the fetus to feel what it would be like to be in a Beit HaMidrash, in the same way that today people play classical music when they're pregnant in the hope that the child, when it's born, will have an appreciation of classical music. She wanted her fetus to have an appreciation of Torah. And when the little baby boy was born, she would take his crib into the yeshiva and put it there so that he would take in the atmosphere of learning from a very, very young age. And that's the opposite of what the Greeks wanted to do. They wanted to remove us from our Judaism at the youngest age. They wanted to put into the baby's bottle, if you like, the words that we have nothing to do anymore with the God of Israel. Totally the opposite was the mother of Rebbe Yehoshua. Once a couple had just given birth to a child, they came to see a rabbi and they said to the rabbi, we want to raise our child as the best possible Jew. What should we do? Tell us, advise us, the child has just been born, what should we do now? And he said, you've come 9 months too late. We could have started this already right at the beginning of your pregnancy. It's never too early to begin. And I think that is really the lesson of Chanukah, that the Greeks wanted to cut us off from our heritage, but not just from our heritage, right from the beginning of our lives, that we should have nothing to do with Judaism. And Judaism says that we have to start educating our children right at the beginning of their lives, perhaps even before they are born, and give them that atmosphere of what it's like to be Jewish. And although Chanukah means dedication, it also comes from the word chinuch, which means education. It is a festival of education, and we have to educate our children from the youngest time. I wish you all a Chanukah Sameach. May it be an illuminating Chanukah for all of us.